Hey guys, it's Bharath Ghani with Urban Asian, and today I'm joined by multi-award winning singer, songwriter, and second grade teacher, Lakshmi Sivaneswaralingam. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for
Thank
your
you for
time.
having me.
You've sung, of course, absolutely. You've sung songs in Tamil, in Malayalam, in Telugu, in Hindi, and I'm half Tamil and half Malayali, so I have so much respect for someone for anyone who can sing in both. And so starting off, how did you start in music? How did you get started?
I would have to say it's my parents who kind of fostered some of their interest. And actually, I'm so grateful to them because they noticed how I was responding to music from a very young age. In our apartment, we would have music playing in different genres and in different languages. And I guess they recognized I was a big Rahman sir fan from when I was young because they tell me till this day, if I hear Chikabukuraile or any
Ooh.
such songs, I would, no matter what we're doing, no matter who's there, I'm stopping and I'm dancing and I'm singing in whatever language I thought made sense back then. Um, so them kind of recognizing that, putting me into Carnatic music lessons. So right when I started school, I started Carnatic music. And I guess whether I picked it up quickly or not, they just wanted me to have that exposure, sitting around the older girls, listening, trying to sing whatever I could. And that was my foundation. But as I got into school and as I got a little older, I was exposed to more choral music and Western genres. So I had, the Carnatic side going outside of school, and then I had Western classical genres that I was exposed to while I was at school. Um, and at the time, I guess, I looked at it as two different entities. I didn't think about what that would look like if I kind of combined the two, didn't really see a connection between the two. It was very, this is outside of school, this is in school. Um, but I was very fortunate enough to have an elementary school music teacher who expressed interest in that. And she would talk to me about what I was doing outside of school and gave me an opportunity to share that in the classroom. And I guess that's what inspired me to even become a school teacher as well. So that was the beginning of that. And then when I entered high school, um, my high school teacher said, "Hey, why don't you, pursue music in the post-secondary setting?" And by then, outside of school, I began competing in vocal competitions. I was exposed to the cinema world, or like the Bollywood, Collywood world of music. I was following a lot of legendary singers, always a big Shreya Ghoshal fan, like many girls out there, Chitra ji, Janaki ma'am. Um, and yeah, slowly everything started to make a little bit more sense of where I was heading. And then a couple of years down the road, I was, found on Instagram by D. Imman sir, a Tamil music director. And he is the one who gave me my debut song of Senthoora, which again, I never in a million years would have thought that's how that happened. I was actually working in a school at that time, and I got a message from sir saying, "Can you send me some demos in multiple genres, just so that he can get a sense of my voice, a better sense of my voice?" And he said, "I think I have the right song that's most apt for you." Asked me to come down to Chennai, flew down, and that's how that happened.
That's amazing. I love,
Yeah.
you've had quite the journey, it's really
Mm.
it's inspiring to see, and it's so great to see someone who still pursued, education as a career, but still took
Mm-hmm.
music seriously. And I think it's important to have both, especially now culture. I think that's very prevalent where you see a lot of people do both, right? Instead of
Yeah.
just having a plan A, or
Mm-hmm.
you do have to have the right balance, right?
And I
So,
do have a lot of people ask me, like, when are you going to choose one? Or why are you doing two
ah,
things? Because
mm,
can you focus on one thing when you have your head in both? And at both that, I mean, at times that question made me nervous, but I think as I get deeper and deeper into both avenues, if you truly enjoy something and it means something to you, you will make it work. And I'm not saying you're not going to be tired. I'm not saying you won't feel stressed, but I feel like it's possible and I love what I'm doing. So, yeah.
Absolutely, it's definitely possible. I also love that you brought up, A.R. Rahman and Chikabuka Riley. I think for every Tamil kid who was, born in the 90s, that was
Yeah.
our track, like because
Yes.
it had like a few English words in there, so we're like, okay, I kind of understand that, like,
Yeah.
style or something he says, and so it's
Kalakkudu paar, it was styling.
there we
Exactly.
go. No, it's crazy that you mentioned that song because I actually have a bunch of home videos of me and my sister like dancing to that song. So
Yeah.
that's like a great nostalgic song that every time it comes up, it just takes you back, right? So
Yeah.
speak a little bit more about your roots in Sangeetam and Carnatic music, and then I also understand that you are a dancer as well, right?
Yeah.
Bharatanatyam dancer. So speak on how, all that inspires your music.
I think as I got deeper and deeper into that, and I was pursuing, so I studied voice performance, a specialist. That was my degree at the University of Toronto. So as I got older, I started to make some connections or started to experiment myself and see how I could bring that Carnatic side, the film cinematic side, and the opera into or make that a genre for myself, or kind of showcase who I am through that blend. And at that time, it was nice because I was hearing songs such as Ayla Ayla, or
Mm,
some opera based songs in the film world, right? So starting to perform that kind of made me feel like, okay, I think I have a place. Or I was seeing singers like Sid Sriram, who
mm,
was singing songs with such, he was able to kind of fuse his Carnatic blend with the Western side, and Jonita Gandhi and Sasha Tirupati. So all these singers who were doing such an amazing job at bringing out their identity and showcasing their roots at the same time with that Western, side, or yeah, so that East meets West.
West, right.
Um, and so I kind of started to play around with that, using them as inspirations. And now I'm working on my own music. I feel like this year there's been a shift in my mentality of it's time to explore your sound and showcase that to the world. I'm not saying that I don't enjoy singing film songs.
Mm,
There's a great love for that, and that itself, there's a lot to learn from that. But when you're exploring yourself as an artist, you're writing your own songs. You want to show your audience who you are, and what unique factors you have. There's a lot of other elements that come into that, and I think the songs that I've currently created or am currently creating has a multitude of sounds that people will hear. There's also that dual language factor of singing in Tamil but tying the English in as well.
love that.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot coming out soon. So stay tuned, everyone.
That's so exciting to hear, and I love that you're fusing Tamil with English. I think that's really
Mm-hmm.
important, and it also makes us who we are, right? என்னோட அப்பா எப்பொழுதுமே சொல்லுவாங்க தமிழ் உயர வேண்டுமானால் தமிழன் உயர வேண்டும். So,
Mm-hmm.
which translates to for Tamil to survive, the Tamil person must survive and
Yeah.
live. So, I think it's
Mm-hmm.
important to preserve that because we speak the oldest language in the world. So, I
Mm-hmm.
think it's important to highlight that and be proud of that and to promote
Mm-hmm.
that. So, it's super inspiring to see you do that. So, speak a little bit more on what being Tamil means to you.
Um, as a family growing up, I see like the morals and values that my family has fostered into me. I love that, that traditional aspect is always lingering or celebrated around the house. When I go to Chennai, when I go to Sri Lanka, I definitely feel that sense of home. Being able to study the classical arts and really feel warm and being able to share that with people. I definitely have a lot of respect for that, and I definitely enjoy that. And that is such a big part of my upbringing, especially like Bharatanatyam and Carnatic music being the base and my foundation of my learning, being able to showcase that to the world, right? And actually being able to expose our younger generation to that, because times have shifted, sounds have shifted, music is evolving every single day. There's a lot of creativity out there, and I actually love what a lot of people are doing with the classical element now in their music, how they're kind of tying that into our modern day sound. So I love working with artists who are able to encourage that, or able to kind of develop that sound further. So that is kind of where my path is going as well. I'm not saying it's like completely Carnatic, completely classical, but you will definitely hear the effects of that or the impacts of that in my music, in my sound. Yeah.
That's amazing to hear. I think it's exciting too. Like we've seen the rise of a lot of these artists who sing in both,
Mm-hmm.
including like Young Raja, and out there in Canada as well. There's SDVP. So
Yes.
all these artists who are fusing both, and I really have a lot of respect for our people in Canada because so
Mm-hmm.
I went to NYU for college, right? So every summer I have an uncle in Scarborough in Canada. So
Yeah.
um, I would go there and I was thinking, wow, like the signs were in Tamil, and like you'd see so many Tamil,
Uh-huh.
regardless whether Indian Tamil or
Yeah.
Sri Lankan Tamil, there were just this pride in being Tamil there. So
Mm-hmm. And I
growing up,
think the summer is like
mm,
peak time here, because you'll see so many different festivals where
mm,
we're celebrating like Tamil arts, that not having that divide of like, India versus Sri Lanka
Sri
or
Lanka,
any of
yeah.
that. We definitely come together, artists come together, performing together. It's such a beautiful sight to see that come together. And every weekend, if you're down here in the summer, you'll definitely have something to go to. So it's great, right? Like I grew up that way. I performed at so many events like that, and being able to go and perform now with artists who are flying in from India or different parts of the world, and definitely speaking to them, understanding their story, and getting to hear the great things they're doing in music as well. It's just I love being in that environment, because that only inspires you to do better. It inspires you to experiment with a lot of different things as well as a musician. So yeah,
That's amazing. Did you grow up in Scarborough, by the way?
I
Just
did.
you did.
I'm a Scarborough girly.
Like every Tamil person. It was amazing. Every summer I would go there, and I'd even hit the gym, and like everyone in the gym was Tamil. I was like, I'm not used to that. And it was
Yeah.
amazing. So I think it's important to also highlight that. We need to, talk about that as well, because I think every Tamil in the world should go to Scarborough, like regardless of
Yes,
whether
if you
you're
want, whether you want the food spots or like the outfits, the temples, you want to meet people, it's all down here.
there's Tamil gangs out there, which is crazy. I was like, what is this? They were like, Tambi, va. So it was
Definitely
definitely
very inclusive, very loving and warm.
fun.
You
Absolutely.
want kotharoti? There's like
Ooh,
so many different places to go here down in
so
Scarborough.
good. And it was like $6. I was like, this is unheard of in like the US. You can't go out and get kotoroti for like
For
six
six
bucks,
dollars.
you know? So, you touched a little bit on this, but you're a full-time teacher as well as being a full-time musician.
Yeah.
How do you balance the two? How do you find the time to balance the two?
Um, I'm not saying it's easy, especially when I started off and I was teaching the older grades, definitely coming home with a lot more work, or a lot of, extracurricular
Hmm.
activities and things like that. But I think I've managed to find myself a schedule that works, regardless of
Yeah.
whether I'm tired or not. Because, like, I'm sure coming back from school at the end of the day, I'm trying to decompress, and I'm like, I have stuff to do. Let's go pick it up, right? Um, It's definitely hard when I have to travel and do performances, but we do make it work.
Nice.
And that's why I enjoy having the summer. Because even though we're preparing for the next school year, I definitely have more time to focus on creating and traveling and doing more shows. Um, so, but I guess the nicer part is when I walk into the schools, the students are now recognizing
Whoa.
that Miss Siva has another thing that she does. The biggest comment is, "You're Hannah Montana, Miss Siva." Because
Uh,
and I tried to play off the game of, oh, that's my twin for a little bit, but they caught on very quickly that that's not my twin and that's actually me. But I love how they're not taking advantage of it or moving with that in a negative way. They find that inspiring. When we're trying different music initiatives at school, they say, hey, I love like this song that you sang, this cover that you sang. Can we do something similar to that? And they like to hear or they love it when I have input or when I can give them some advice or when I can work with them on different things that are related to the arts or related to music. And it's nice because I guess they get to see, she's doing music, she's doing what she loves, but she's also in a classroom teaching us. And I guess this works for anyone. And it's great to see that South Asian parents are a little more open to allowing their kids to explore different venues or different career paths now. It's not your standard accountant, engineer, doctor. They see the multitude of things that can now be done. So, having a figure like that, we didn't necessarily grow up with that, but it's nice to see that the generations that are coming up now have a lot of different people that can be a role model or inspiration to them, or they see how different people are balancing a career with their passions. And I think the kids really appreciate that. They definitely like the updates that they see online. I saw you doing this.
that's
Yeah.
amazing. And I think that is really underrated. I think the importance of seeing someone who looks like us
Yeah.
going for their goals, but also staying grounded and doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see, I started as a singer. I was born into the industry because my dad was a Tamil TV host.
Yep.
So, but still growing up, my mom was very not as supportive as she could be
Mm-hmm.
for this. She's like, you gotta go to law school. And so like I still had to do all that.
Mm-hmm.
But and then also I signed a deal at a young age and I got a lot of bad advice where they were like, you can't have two plans. You just gotta stick to plan A, which is wrong
Mm-hmm.
advice. That's not the right advice. I think people like you are showing that you kind of have to do both because this industry is not guaranteed, and as much as
Mm-hmm.
we want it to be our sole source of income, it just does not
Yeah.
work that way anymore.
Mm-hmm. And I
So
think I've
mm,
I've come to a place now where I feel like I can openly share this story. Well, after I finished my debut, because I have like no musicians in the family, I actually didn't have anyone living in Chennai at the time that, if I decided to just drop everything and go there and stay there, that, would kind of support me through things. Um, I sang the song. I got the A-OK. I didn't say anything to anyone because I wasn't allowed to say anything at the time. I
yeah.
said, okay, I'm just gonna wait till the song releases now and I'm gonna come home. I actually didn't even know when the song was going to be released. One day, Iman Sir dropped me a message and it's like, the song's coming out. They sent me this lovely promotion video for the song that everyone saw, and it was so apt for the song as well, with like the flower explosions and like the colors and everything. It was beautiful. I was like, oh my god, the song made it, it's gonna come out. And again, it didn't register to me that I wasn't in India and people are gonna start looking for me, because I didn't know how the industry worked at that time. I just sang this song,
Mm,
came back home, continued going on with my regular day-to-day life. And I guess when the song came out, people didn't have a face to go with the name or a face to go with the song. They're like, who
right.
is this girl who came from abroad? She just sang the song and left. And they were contacting Iman sir, asking, where is she? Is she available to sing other songs? Is she available to do interviews? can she come to the studio? And I'm like, oh boy, I'm back home in
In Toronto.
Canada, right? So there were a lot of opportunities that were missed at that time. And sometimes I think back and say, like, did I make the right decision? Did I make the wrong decision?
Mm,
But I noticed that slowly, as people became familiar with who I was traveling back and forth quite a bit, and I was still doing work, I was getting work. And then the pandemic hit,
I
and I wasn't traveling to India at all. So
right.
it was more, again, I guess a lot of artists were suffering at that point, and we were thinking about alternatives of what we can do to continue creating, continue performing, and keep ourselves, you know, relevant to our audience, right? And it was amazing because at that time, social media really took off. Everyone was collaborating with each other. People were experimenting with their sounds and putting out more content. So there was a lot of that going on, but at the same time, I think I met a little bit of a roadblock of what's
Mm.
going to happen musically. Um, and so, again, I guess it was a little difficult, and I was grateful that I had my other job going at the same time. But
Ah.
once, yeah, but once the pandemic, kind of exited the story, it was nice to get back to travel, meet my contacts again, meet some of my colleagues who are in the industry again, and get that going. Um, and yeah, I guess that's when I really sat down and thought to myself, it's time that you start creating your own music and continue to showcase who you are to your audience. So, yeah.
That's super important. And yeah,
Mm.
thank God you had that backup, right? And yeah, it's so exciting to see that you're now starting to put out your own independent music,
Mm.
and we're also excited for that. And so, as I mentioned, I started as a singer, and then
Mm.
I did my undergrad in music business, and so I've worked as an A&R, I've worked in entertainment law. I do understand that this is a crazy industry, right? There's it's amazing, but at the same time there's so
Mm.
much bullshit, right? What's the what's the craziest, most spiciest story that you have from the music industry? You don't have to name any names, but give us an exclusive.
I've had my fair share of
Hmm,
experiences.
speak on that.
Oh,
You
he
don't have to
wants
name
the
any names.
tea.
Just go for it. We want
I've
tea. We want
had
chai.
I've had performances that unfortunately couldn't happen, or there were some struggles to get um, to that final moment. I think some of the discouraging parts, or something that I mean, I guess it made me a stronger artist, is when you get calls from the studios and you sing demos, or you sing all these beautiful songs, and it makes it or it doesn't make it,
Hmm.
or you are the artist that made it, and then last minute they say, okay, we're gonna go with this person
Yeah,
instead. Because I think it definitely makes you question, did I not do my best, or did I do something that made this opportunity not work for me? um, and there are so many singers out there, there are so many there, I guess being in India, they want, it seems like it's, if you're there and you can get to them right away, and there's
hmm,
a little bit of that also, right? By the time I sing something and send it over, it might be too late.
hmm.
Or if the directors are so used to hearing a version, they might like that versus what they hear. So there's a lot of that. There's actually a big film that I thought my voice would work out for, and unfortunately, it did not. But it's okay. I was upset about that for quite a bit.
Which film was that?
um,
Was
I'm
it
not
Cooley?
going to say. No, no, no. But it was a bigger Tamil film that did come out earlier this year.
Oh, whoa. Okay, but you can't name. Sign
No,
the NDA
I'm
and
not
everything.
gonna
Okay,
mention anything.
that's fair.
But
That's okay.
and it's nice to hear from other artists that similar they've gone through similar experiences, because then you
Hmm.
feel like you're you're not the only one.
Mm,
I didn't mess it up, or different things like that. And again, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that people are not aware of.
yeah.
Um, yeah, let's just leave it at that,
Okay,
shall we?
fair enough, fair enough. No, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
I think it's yeah, because I think it's important too to have like a good team around you and a good support
yeah,
system.
yeah.
So I hope you have that.
Hmm.
And then okay, I want to call this segment "Spill the Masala." What's don't worry, I'm not gonna no more, not that spicy. So,
Okay.
what's your favorite song of all time? If you could listen to one song right now, what would it be? It can be English, could be Tamil, could be anything.
Mm, I think Chikabukarele has to win that one.
That's fresh in your mind. That's right here, right now, huh? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's definitely that one.
Great song. Great song. Great
Yeah.
choice.
Actually,
Um,
if it
hmm,
wasn't, if there was one in English,
hmm.
I'm a really big Celine Dion fan.
Ooh, yes.
Yes, and
Canada.
Titanic. Yes, Canadian artists
Yeah.
represent. And Titanic was a big movie in the South Asian community.
Yes.
And after I started kind of, exploring that Western classical genre, I was singing a lot of Celine Dion songs. So
Ooh.
one of her songs from Titanic is definitely a favorite of mine.
Yep.
Yeah.
My heart will go on.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Great
Yes.
song. It's
I could listen to her sing forever. And I guess her story is definitely an
oh
inspiration
yeah.
because she definitely had a setback, but
Mm-hmm.
how she came back as an even stronger artist and the amount of work that she was putting behind the scenes, and seeing her come back and perform at the Paris Olympics recently was just,
Yeah.
it was amazing to see. And I always tell myself, if someone of that caliber can do that, then we have no excuses.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, no, 100%. She is amazing. I don't think she gets enough credit for
Yeah.
going through that setback. And then also
Mm-hmm.
her manager, who I think is her husband, right? Or
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
was her husband. I think a lot of people talk bad about that, but I think it was important for her to have that strong support,
Yeah.
around her. So I think,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And I
that's
think
great choice. Yeah.
that's definitely a huge thing as an artist. We go through a lot. There might be a lot of inner battle, a lot of, you know, a lot of setbacks, a lot of, I wouldn't say negativity, but a lot of like doubting ourselves. And
Mm-mm.
when you have the right support system or people to encourage you, or people that are there along the way to cheer you on regardless of what happens, that is so important to have. And sometimes it gets lonely because I'm not saying that it's not competitive. There's definitely that competitive factor out there. um, but yeah, having that support system definitely does help.
So,
Yeah.
absolutely. No, 100%. Okay, on a lighter note, Logic, Pro Tools, or Ableton?
Logic.
Logic. Okay, no, same here. Easiest, user friendly,
Easy, exactly.
easy to mix. You can pretty much just use stock and you're good. All those plugins. What's your favorite instrument other than vocals?
I learned piano, but I actually played Vuna.
Vina. Oh
I had,
wow.
yeah. It was
Hell yeah.
my mom loves the Vuna, and so that's something that I started a little later. I think I was about grade 7 or 8, or grade 6, 7, around that time. I have so much love for the instrument. Kudos to everyone who plays it so beautifully. And I had such a wonderful guru. She was amazing. She was very strict at times. But I had to, just because I thought, okay, let me focus on the singing, and I do have Vuna. Like I'll sit down and I'll play. I'll try different things on it. I'm such a lover of the sound. I couldn't continue it because I wanted to focus strictly on the vocal.
Yeah.
But definitely one of my favorite instruments. Yeah.
Vina.
And I actually love the harp. It's
Ooh,
just so beautiful. It's such an elegant and such a beautiful
elegant.
instrument. Yeah. So yeah.
Vina and harp. Those are solid choices. And
Yeah.
piano. Actually, I have a giant harp on my arm tattooed. So
Ah,
it's
yeah, I
really
actually
beautiful. Mm.
I think it was during the pandemic I found a harpist over social media, and we did a couple of collabs together, and it's just so beautiful how we fused like that Tamil sound with
Mm.
what she was doing, and yeah, it was I just loved that experience. So I'm hoping we can do some more of that.
Some more of
Yeah.
that and possibly Vina sound too in there.
Yeah. So
My mama actually had Vina in her house, like the
ah,
giant Vina in a room.
yeah.
Like that. I was like, this takes up so much space, and it's heavy, right? But no, it's a
Yes.
beautiful instrument, right?
Hmm.
Great, great. What's your favorite color?
Purple.
Purple, nice. Who's your favorite Tamil actor or actress,
Ooh,
or Indian, South Asian actor or actress?
I really like Dulquer Salman.
Ooh, yes,
I really love his movies as well. They're very different.
yeah.
I'm a huge fan of OK Kanmani, that AR
I was
Maniratnam
just that
combo.
soundtrack. That
That
soundtrack.
exactly, that soundtrack is oh, I keep going back, and as an artist, like I really like challenging songs, so I keep
Yeah,
coming back to Nani Varigirain. It's such a beautiful song.
that's another.
Nani
Ooh,
Varigirain. That it's
yeah, fire.
I love that song. And there's so many different things going on with that in that song, within the meter, the vocals, the background, or like just how the music was programmed for that. And I always think I if I ever could speak to Rahman sir and ask him what was going on in his mind when he was creating that song.
That guy's amazing.
It is just so beautiful, and
Yeah.
Shasha Tirupati, she's
Ooh,
such a talented vocalist, and all the little nuances in any song she sings are just so graceful and beautiful. So yeah, there
I
you
love that. AR,
go.
from Dulkar to AR's soundtrack. I love that. His dad too. Dulkar's dad,
Yes, Mammootty,
Mamuti,
yeah.
legend, Malayali legend, right? Uh, but no, no, that's perfect. What's your favorite Tamil or South Asian movie of all time?
Alipaide.
Ooh, classic.
I love that movie, the soundtrack. I can't tell you how many times I've watched that
Me too.
movie.
So good, man. Such a
Yeah.
great movie. And the soundtrack, yeah. I think the
I'm
soundtrack, sorry.
yeah, sorry, I'm definitely giving away that I'm a 90s kid out here.
What's your favorite Tamil or South Asian dish?
Dosa.
Both. Okay,
I
standard.
love dosa. Like there's I mean, I think second place is kotroti.
Kuthu. I was expecting
Like
kuthu.
dosa for life. If I go to India, I could have dosa 3 times a day.
Because the dosa
Yeah,
out there hits different, man. I don't know what they
it
put in
does.
there. And
It
it's
does.
huge. Like,
And like there are like my mom's dosa definitely has to be my favorite here, and there's several places that have amazing dosa here, and many varieties also, but it doesn't hit the same as what I get in Chennai. Yeah.
oh, that's amazing. Great choice. Great choice. What advice would you give to young Tamil artists or young South Asian artists in general?
Hmm. Um, I would definitely say if you put your mind to it, even your biggest dream can become your reality. But something that I really have respect for is the amount of time that people put into their craft, and really making that about quality versus quantity. And I know sometimes it feels like there's so much content out there, there's a lot of pressure to consistently put things out. And sometimes I feel like I've been victim of that as well. Because there are so many artists, there are so many creative ideas, there's so many songs that are being put out there in different genres, and you might feel like I'm not working as fast as them, or I'm not creating, something that's hitting the masses like their song. But if you definitely put the time and effort and think about how you can represent the true you in your sound and in your music, or in whatever you are creating, and yeah, things are definitely possible.
Love that. That's solid advice.
Mhm.
What's next for Lakshmi?
I have a couple of songs that we'll be releasing this year. I have a really big song that we just wrapped up this summer with the video shoot that's coming out with an Indian label.
Nice.
And I think people are going to see a different version of Lakshmi that they didn't expect to see.
Okay.
And I I can't wait for people to see that song because that sound or that style is definitely something that I feel like I love and I want more opportunities to showcase. And I'm so grateful that I got to work with such a lovely team of artists here in Canada and in Europe to, bring this project to life. So stay tuned.
Love that. Can we see a
Yeah.
tour anytime soon?
That would be that's a huge goal. I
Okay.
do have a lot of shows coming up. I'm actually going to be traveling to the UK
Oh, nice.
soon to for a big show. So, yeah, things are in the works.
In the works.
Yeah,
Definitely, yeah. You should do an LA show sometime soon. I think that would be
I would
advisable.
love
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. We'll make it happen.
And I'm so grateful to everyone that's been part of my journey and supporting me thus far, because I think the amount of support that like our listeners give us is huge, and it encourages us to do bigger, better things.
Yeah,
So I love you guys for that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Plug your socials, website, all that.
Everyone can follow me on Instagram at Lakshmi Music, and you can find me with Lakshmi Music on YouTube and Spotify, Apple Music, all your streaming platforms. And I'd love for you to continue following my journey because there's a lot of big things coming up.
Perfect, Lakshmi. Thank you so much again for your time.
Thank you
We're
for
all so
having
proud
me.
of you as a culture. Keep doing what you're doing, and
Thank
you
you.
know the sky's the limit for you. So I'm
Thank you so
excited.
much.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.